to help all of us to move forward. Honorable Mr. Chair and committee members, the last time I was here, there are a few things that I mentioned, most particularly regarding the file on my right. When I went back again to our office, I look at the file with some of my colleagues, and then I think the first remark I made was that the file was closed, which I discovered is not a closed file. It is still rolling. Just that it has not been very active, because it has been since the last letter was April 2025. So my sincere apologies on that. And also, my memory could not serve me well. I mentioned that it was a general file instead of JANE Commission. It is JANE Commission file. I've also discovered that. So my sincere apologies for those errors, to keep your record straight. Basically, I don't want to mention these things several times, but as Secretary of Cabinet and Head of the Civil Service, which was recently put together before we had the Secretary General, and then when we had the Secretary General, the Secretary of Cabinet was under the Secretary General, which all of us as civil servants are answerable to the Secretary General. Those changes were made. You have the Secretary of Cabinet and Head of the Civil Service, then you have the Chief of Staff. So the Office of the President is, as I said, yes, I'm the Secretary of Cabinet and Head of the Civil Service, but we also have the Chief of Staff that is responsible for the Office of the President. My role as, I don't want to dwell much on that. I'm sure all of you know that, because you know the responsibilities. Mainly focusing on cabinet matters, CPs. When I say CP, I mean cabinet papers. Also taking minutes during cabinet meetings. The other aspect, that is Head of the Civil Service, we deal with the PMO, Public Service Commission, and the Ministry of Public Service, and the entire civil service. So that was just a clarification on how we operate. So that is why when the file was requested, I did not bring the file personally. I came with the Chief of Staff. The chair can attest to that. We came together, we brought the file together, just to confirm that this is the file. On this, I think apart from that, just a few things also on the side of my letter. The system is like Office of the President is the core of the system. And then we have branches, that is the ministries. So these ministries where you have most of the technical people. For us, is coordination and implementation of government programs. Why I was saying most of the time, like Cabinet Office will not have a specific file on JANE Commission, that is the Cabinet Office. But also, we always have letters, we call them flashpoints. You don't normally have, apart from a report from Cabinet, how do you call Cabinet Task Force, we don't have full reports, because we always direct, you can see most of our letters are short. So it's always redirected to ministries to take care of it. That is why when I got the summon, what I did was, okay, this is the Office of the President, but I think the Ministry of Justice, since they are the people responsible for this, redirect your inquiries to this. That will help quicker than me looking for information here, because of cabinet office don't have a specific file for this. It has nothing to do with concealing information, because I can remember when this thing started, the first thing we did was to bring the media to the office of the president to look at all the cars that are there. I don't know whether you have seen it on TV.
Witness, we will go into those details.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We just want to hear your apologies.
Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those corrections. Like if you can fully.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, for the corrections, because when these documents were requested by these honorable members, the response we got from you were like they do not exist. But then, since now you've provided and then you made an apology, we will take it from there. And only perhaps to caution you that as the Secretary to Cabinet and Head of the Civil Service, that's a very important office. And I could say it's an apex office for all the civil servants. So a lot more witnesses would be answering to this committee. So if you, one way or the other, had an error, that was a serious thing. But the fact that now you've corrected it and apologized, we'll take it from there. So at this point, I will hand you over to the legal team to continue with the process of questions and answers. Counsel, are you ready?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Welcome back, Mr. Njie.
Yeah.
So, just in your statement, you had mentioned the Chief of Staff vis-a-vis your role. Can you please, very shortly, nothing too elaborate, just distinguish between your two roles?
Thank you. As I said, the role of the Chief of Staff, we are interwoven in the office, but currently, as Chief of Staff, he is the head of the Office of the President. He is the head of the Office of the President, responsible for the admin. And then myself, responsible for the civil service.
Thank you. So when it comes to issues such as records such as these, the file you just submitted to the committee, who is the natural custodian of the file?
It is the Chief of Staff.
Thank you. And vis-a-vis to your role, as the head of civil service and secretary to cabinet, you had mentioned that you deal with cabinet papers and, can you elaborate, and minutes of the...
Minutes of cabinet.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, basically, we always have a cabinet meeting on every Thursday. And then before the meeting, we have what we call an agenda, which we circulate all the CPs. CP is cabinet papers, sorry, I'm using this abbreviation. It is when ministries or ministers submit cabinet papers concerning their ministry, it's the one that we circulate. We circulate it and then it is tabled in the cabinet meeting. So what is deliberated there is what I take. We're taking minutes, because normally there is what we call, at the end of the discussion, there is a conclusion. So is that conclusion, what is in the cabinet paper, and what is the conclusion in the cabinet, what is concluded in the cabinet is the one that I text, and it becomes a decision of the cabinet.
So just correct me if I'm wrong. There is an instrument called a CP, a cabinet paper, which emanates from different ministries. If I am correct, these are policy considerations. They are submitted to cabinet. Once they are submitted, your role kicks in to draw an agenda item out of these cabinet papers, right? And once it's deliberated in cabinet, there are minutes and there are conclusions. So the conclusions are incorporated in the CP while the minutes are standalone. Correct?
Yeah, let me just, I don't know whether I understand what you're saying, but then we take the deliberation from the CP, what has been indicated in the CP, but at the end, there is the last paragraph. That's where you put in the conclusion what has cabinet agreed, whether the paper is accepted, approved, or disapproved, or whether it's accepted or not accepted. That's what we call the cabinet conclusion.
The fate of the cabinet paper is clear. After the considerations are brought, the conclusion is put against those considerations. That's fine. What I'm trying to establish is whether or not minutes do exist of these meetings.
Yeah, it do.
Thank you. Now, we'll come back to that. However, I would like you to guide this committee on the fact that this file, or the file that you produced, did it emanate from another file? Is it a series of another file? Or did it emanate from a consideration of cabinet? Can you guide us on that? Now, Mr. Njie, we tread with caution here, because in your last testimony, you had mentioned that the file is a confidential file. And we have noted as a committee that the file is indeed a confidential file. You need not expose the contents of the file, but give us enough information to guide the committee. And of course, our proceedings are public, and the public needs to be aware of our proceedings. But be guided in your responses. You need not expose the contents.
Thank you, and thank you for that. When I look at the file, I was not around, so I just go according to what I have seen here. It's not looks like the first letter is in 2017. That is when the file was opened.
So if I could just caution, we would like a smooth hearing today. We understand that you are not here, but you are the custodian and the master of these records. So if we could just move on. You understand that you are not here. We can just move on to guide the committee so that we can gain trust.
The file was opened in 2017, and then, as I said earlier, it is not a closed file. So obviously, it's not a closed file. It's still continuing. But if there is any other file that started before that, I wouldn't mind also check. But I am not sure whether there was any file before that. But what I know is it commenced in 2017.
Can you specify the date in 2017?
That is 30th June 2017.
What are you looking at?
The last year.
The first document?
Yeah.
But the first document is minuted as the third item on the file. So perhaps you may be better guided by the minutes, the minute sheet, which should be contained in the first page. And the first page of the minute sheet would have a date.
29 June 2017.
Yes. So the file commenced on 29
June 2017. Yeah.
Still on the commencement. If we go back to the contents of the letter that you first held, which is minuted as the third letter, as the third item rather, which is dated the 30th of June 2017. Now, I had cautioned about confidentiality. At any point when you feel something is confidential and you don't want, I would prompt questions. It is my responsibility to prompt questions, but it will be left to you to say you would wish for this to be curtailed, and then we can deal with the information very minimally. However, Honorable Chair, I would ask that at at every time the witness requests, the committee look at it and the committee decide on whether it is indeed a confidential document and fit for this limited disclosure.
I'll take note of that.
I do not believe this document would be, but correct me if I'm wrong. Please guide us on the nature of this document. You can take a second or so to look at it. Perhaps what you can do is, let's gain some time. Just read the first paragraph of the letter.
Following the establishment of the above captioned Commission of Inquiry, I write to inform you that His Excellency the President has approved the appointment of the undermentioned individual, listed individual, to serve in the Commission.
Thank you, Mr. Njie. Now, having read that paragraph, it follows that indeed there is a communication that advises this letter. It would follow us so naturally, wouldn't it?
I'm sorry, I probably have to check that also. Sorry.
Yes, I want you to read the paragraph. Read the paragraph, take your time.
Okay.
Take your time and read the paragraph. Once you read the paragraph you just read for us.
Yeah.
Following the establishment of the above caption commission.
Yeah, that means
it advises that there was
something previously before this.
Of course, that advised the establishment.
I write to inform. Okay.
In your experience, what could that be? Could that be cabinet minutes? Was it a committee? Could you advise us on this? Take your time, Mr. Njie.
He has approved. That means it's coming from somewhere. I don't know whether it's the Ministry of Justice. I don't want to speculate here and then come back and start apologizing, but obviously it's coming from somewhere.
Could you look at the first minute on the minute sheet? Look at it in conjunction with the second minute.
Yes. Now, it said the Ministry of Justice.
You can read it and internalize it before you read it out loud.
May I humbly refer Your Excellency, been a submission from the Ministry of Justice, MOJ.
Mr. Njie, you can take a second to read it out for yourself.
Not loud?
Not loud.
Oh, okay.
Internalize it first, and when you're ready, you let us know.
My understanding is it is coming from the Ministry of Justice.
So, is this what would be referred to as a cabinet paper? Could this be a cabinet paper? Or could it be perhaps derived from a cabinet paper?
So obviously, it must be cabinet paper.
Can you explain more? You are the expert. You are the secretary to cabinet. committee would like to be guided on these elements in a very detailed manner. Why is it a cabinet paper? How do you derive that it is an extract from a cabinet paper?
Thank you. Most of the time in this regard, the committee is set up by the cabinet. It's set up by the cabinet, that is the cabinet forum, and then names are submitted, approved by cabinet, and then submitted also back to cabinet for approval. So it's a CP sort of, CP, could be a CP.
So this is an extract from a CP,
Yeah.
or is it a CP in itself?
Because you form a task force from approval from the cabinet.
A committee.
Yeah.
And is there communication of that? How would communication of that be?
It has to come from the Ministry of Justice concern, and then also in the attention of the cabinet, then minutes are taken on that basis.
So would the Ministry of Justice ordinarily just come with that policy consideration, or would that policy consideration, which metamorphoses into a CP, be prompted by something? Like an instruction from cabinet, the president also?
No, it's the cabinet.
So ordinarily it would be...
When it comes from the Ministry of Justice, then cabinet approves, then it's conveyed back to the ministry concerned.
So let's clear something. You just mentioned when it comes from the Ministry of Justice, cabinet will approve. But before it comes from the Ministry of Justice, is the ministry at liberty to advise as it deems fit, or would it be prompted by cabinet for the ministry to look into such affairs?
That ministry is always guide. Then you bring it to cabinet. It's like prompted by a ministry for the cabinet, and then cabinet take decisions on that.
So in this instance, going by note 1, or minute 1 rather, the Ministry of Justice at the time, or the Minister of Justice, advised himself and decided to bring a cabinet paper to advise the government to establish a commission, so to speak, to look at financial dealings with the ex-president. Would that be roughly the scenario?
Scenario somehow, yeah.
To the best of your knowledge, do you know that that's what happened?
No, absolutely. It's just the procedures I'm trying to explain. But to the best of my knowledge, I have not.
You did mention that you were the holder of minutes.
Yeah.
And would there be any minutes prior to minute 1 of this file? Would there be any record of proceedings of cabinet?
I'm not sure whether if you can remember the paper that I brought. Remember the establishment of the committee till when, before I left, you said it is not authentic simply because there are no signatures.
It is not signed.
Yes. Exactly. I think it's something like that. I'm not sure if it is not right to you check also.
So, just for the record, this is exactly the record that you brought. It is a letter dated the 30th of June 2017, and in fact, it is minute 3 of that file. So, that is my point, because the letter in itself infers that there were other happenings to advise it. The letter did not emanate by itself. Something must have advised the letter. So that's what this committee is trying to understand. Now, just to clarify something, usually in the practice of cabinet, would cabinet, and by extension the president, be advised on issues before taking a decision, or can the president take the decision without the need for any advice?
Normally,
Council,
especially from cabinet.
Council, just to remind the witness, he is confusing the committee and the council. The commission. When he refers to the commission, he will say committee. Well, I know because he is before a committee. So just to avert his mind.
Yes, just to avert your mind to the fact that this is not a commission of inquiry. This is a parliamentary committee, and perhaps maybe when you're making reference to the commission of inquiry, you can apply your mind to that. Yes, did you get the question? Does the president make decisions without advice from or deliberations from cabinet?
No. It has to be deliberated. Any paper brought forward in cabinet is deliberated. We come to a conclusion in cabinet, yeah.
And those conclusions, apart from their addition to the cabinet papers, they would be contained in the minutes, yes?
And we also circulate them to the respective ministry or the ministry concerned.
Great, okay. Not to waste more time on this issue, Honorable Chair, I would ask that the minutes of cabinet from the 19th day of January 2017 to the 12th of July 2017 are produced to this committee. However,
19th of January.
yes, however, 19th of January 2017. However, the witness is at liberty to indicate the level of risk of the information contained in those minutes, and the committee will advise itself on inspection rather than production.
Sorry, can I ask? Can you repeat?
So 19th of January 2017, that is when the coalition government took its seat and when His Excellency was sworn in. To the 12th of July 2017. Chair, if I can amend that request a bit. So from that inception date, however, we could open it because as Mr. Njie had alluded to, the file is not closed, it's still an open file, and perhaps we can get minutes to date. So just to be clear, minutes of cabinet meetings from the 19th day of January 2017 to date.
Concerning the commission?
Just minutes. Just minutes of cabinet meetings. Now, that is why the burden is on you.
No, because look, I'll give you a sample. This is just first cabinet to 31st cabinet 2024 when I assumed office. You see, this is just one of the reports, just one of those things. So that means I'm not.
So yeah, I wish I could show you, the books behind us.
I know, but
we have a volume of books and we have read every single one. Trust me, we have the time. But I had given you the courtesy of indicating the sensitivity of the information. And if that is the case, and if you certify to that effect, so of course you cannot do that now, but if you certify to that effect, the committee would apply itself appropriately.
Yeah.
But this is the request.
Yeah, sure.
So, Honorable Chair, we could discuss, since it's a confidential file, we can discuss the modalities of the record. All right, very well. All right, so Mr. Njie, I would like to show you a copy of the legal notice that establishes the commission.
Honorable Mbo want to make.
Yes. Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Council. Yes, I think I just want the witness to about his mind to what the Council is actually saying, because if it is something that is sensitive, now it's up to you to tell us that the meeting minutes of this particular day, whatever it is sensitive, and again, we are also concerned of the fact that there are certain information that doesn't need to go public, but that's up to you now to tell the Council or to tell the Chair. But maybe, I don't know how we want to do that, but again, we are not asking you to give us everything, because there could be some confidential information which we need to protect as a state.
Oh, thank you.
Well, that's up to you, yeah.
No, thank you very much. I appreciate that. To be frank with you, most of the informations, they are very confidential. So if you, they are all cabinet information papers. Yeah.
So, Honorable Chair, the application was made. I believe the Chair had granted the application. What would follow is that we would put it on record and issue a formal order, and Cabinet can then respond formally.
Yes, very well. The order is granted, and the confidentiality and non-confidentiality would be treated by this committee. We are cognizant of that, but the order is granted, so we want all of them.
Right. If the committee secretariat could guide the witness on MOJ 2. So, right, so let's gain traction. This shouldn't be a long session before the Fofanakundas start attacking me. Look at the first paragraph, Mr. Njai. You could see that, if I can read it out, this is a document that is submitted to us, so it is not confidential. Preliminary reports received from Inter Alia, amongst others, the Central Bank of the Gambia, Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation, Gambia Ports Authority, Gambia Telecommunications Company Limited, etc. The list goes on. Indicate that substantial funds were either directly or indirectly withdrawn, paid out or expended on instructions or directives received from the Office of the President during the tenure in office of the former President Jammeh, sometimes for unknown purposes. Now, this paragraph infers that reports were submitted from these different institutions, the ministries, departments, and institutions. Those reports would ordinarily be submitted to Cabinet, wouldn't they?
I don't want to.
You see,
I'm just looking at how the.
take your time.
Oh,
Are you, is there enough time?
yeah, but I still need to, because as I said, if you have reports normally brought to the attention of cabinet, ordinarily I will say yes, it should come to cabinet. Gambia Ports Authority, Telecommunication Company Limited, yeah. Reports.
And perhaps the minutes will confirm or show these reports. Yes, because Mr. Njai, this instrument in itself, the one you're perusing, it emanates from cabinet. It emanates from nowhere else. So the president himself endorsed this and established the commission. That is the power given to him by the Constitution. And that paragraph does not mention where the reports were submitted to. So the natural conclusion is that they were submitted to cabinet. Isn't that so? So at this juncture, I would make an application, Honorable Chair, that the said reports are submitted to this committee, and any deliberation around those reports, if not contained in the minutes already sought for, are submitted. Any considerations and conclusions are also submitted. If does the chair want me to itemize that for him?
You can.
We can do that subsequently.
Want to do that later?
Yes. Does the chair prefer I do it now?
Well, let's do it now.
As you please. So, Honorable Chair, I make an application to request that the witness provide 1. Reports submitted to cabinet by the ministries, departments, and institutions referenced in legal notice number 15 of 2017. Number 2, any report or minutes derived from deliberations on the reports, if not already contained in the minutes and reports earlier sought. 3, any conclusions born from the reports. And out of the abundance of caution, I'd say 4, any other information or record in relation to those reports. Mr. Njai, I believe you were calling my attention on something. Would you like to? Please, that's fine. We can always. Chair, can I proceed?
Are you referring to the inter alia reports on MOJ 2?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Now, Mr. Njai, I would like you to make reference to that file you provided. Go to minute 44.
minute.
Are you aware?
No, this file doesn't have, it has minute 44, but there is no information here. I don't know if somebody can help.
So
Are you referring to folio or the minutes?
Sorry, but my apologies. Folio.
Okay.
Folio number 44.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
But the information can still be gotten from the minutes to refer you, but I'm referring to the document.
Yeah,
You're absolutely right.
The minute is not indicated. It's only the title of the document. Yeah. Yes. I've seen it. Yeah.
Yes. The committee has already approved the submission of minutes of cabinet stemming from the 19th of January 2017 to date. That is August 2025. However, Mr. Njie, I would like to draw your attention to this specific letter contained in folio 44 and these minutes.
Folio.
These minutes, the minutes contained, referred to. You can take a minute to read the letter and advise yourself on it. And perhaps the committee can also take a second to read.
Can I read it loud or
no? No, do not read it loud. You can turn off your mic momentarily, Mr. Njie.
Council, do we have it? Is it in this folder?
Yes, you should have record of it.
Okay.
The folio number is at the top right corner of each document. Honorable Chair, can I proceed? Sanjay, I believe you have read the document. I need not expose its contents, but this is of special interest to the committee. Of course, Honorable Chair, I would not make an application because an application was already made. There are several others in the folios, in the different folios.
Honorable Chair, I just want to observe. Council, if at all we are all looking at the same document, I don't see any confidentiality in it. Not so.
Mr. Njie, please.
There's no confidentiality in it. The content can be discussed because it's already open. Yes.
Thank you. I think if I can understand what the council is saying is for the external viewers. If it is within here, probably.
But the honourable member, that determination is not in my hands, in fact. It is in the hands of the honourable members, but it is in your hands to justify whether or not. So I guess the question is directed.
Can I interject here? Mr. Njie, what's happening here is, the letter we are having, if we say it's confidential, people outside might think we are trying to hide something. When in effect, when you look at this letter, I mean, there's nothing in it that deserves to be hidden. In fact, the information contained in it is already public knowledge. So it's my strong conviction that Council, if you have questions directed on the face of this letter, you can ask him. If at all you don't have any, then we move. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's fine. Council, we can go ahead.
Okay, so the
letter was copied.
The letter refers to cabinet decision in a meeting held on Thursday, the 21st of June, 2018. Thursday, the 21st of June, 2018. And the content, or I'm referring to the contents, not the date of the letter. The date of the letter is the 3rd July. 21st. The date is the 3rd of July, 2018. It's the same letter, right? Honorable Chair, can I proceed?
Then continue.
So, Mr. Njai, just to put, for transparency purposes, to put the viewers on notice, the letter, the subject of the letter is the halting of tractor sales, being a decision from Cabinet, and the decision of Thursday, the 21st of June, 2018 is referenced. Now, Honorable Chair, I've already made the application, and I need not make a subsequent application, just to put the witness on notice and to aver his mind to this letter. It's of particular interest to the committee.
Yeah, request granted.
Sanjay, I would equally go to folio 96. Are you there, Mr. Njai? Honorable Chair, can I proceed?
Proceed.
Folio 96 is also another decision from Cabinet imposing a moratorium on the sales of assets identified by the Jani Commission. Isn't that correct? Is this moratorium still standing, Mr. Njai?
Sorry, I don't want to say I don't know, but I have no idea about that, Frank. I'm not aware it is on, neither it is still standing.
So we have established that the file is an open file.
Exactly.
So because it's an open file, there is no final report on the file. We should indicate that there are still certain assets. At least we hope there are assets that were salvaged. Correct? Are you following?
No, sorry, I'm sorry.
So do you need a minute to...
No, you can repeat that.
The file is not a closed file.
It is not, yes.
That is established.
Yes.
And when you look at the last folio on the file, it indicates that the file is still a running file.
It's still
an active file.
It's an active file, yes.
Which also indicates, since a moratorium was placed, it indicates that there are assets yet to be sold. Because you cannot put a moratorium on the sale of nothing, can you?
No.
So, indeed, there are assets to be sold.
I Yes, I can tell you it's yes, because at the beginning when I make the introduction, I did mention what we have behind, and then still now they have not been purchased, some of the vehicles.
So we are agreed that there are still assets. Now, what I wish to ask is, what is the moratorium still on?
Even the permission to revert back, I cannot remember.
You wish to revert back and confirm
yes,
to the...
please, yeah.
If the committee is comfortable with that, I would leave the issue alone. I would just have a few clarifications before I move on. Honorable Chair, please advise. Mr. Njai?
Lead Counsel, and that's okay. He can revert to those. We are taking note as well.
So, Mr. Njai, perhaps I'll give you a second to look at the last few folio numbers on the minute sheet. Just advise yourself on it so that we can proceed. And of course, it is correct that you assumed your current position in January 2023, correct? And anything following January 2023, you should be aware of. All right, I'll give you a minute to look at the last few folio numbers. You could start from as far as 164 to the end. Honorable Chair, if you could give the witness 3 to 5 minutes to look at the... Okay. Honorable Chair, may I proceed?
Yes, we can.
So, Mr. Njai, just to save time, let's take as established that you have indeed sat in some of these deliberations. Let's not probe into that. Can we take that as established? As
I can remember folio 175, minute 175.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been advised by the technical team that you should leave your mic on.
Okay.
Leave it on. No, do not put it off. So, just to reiterate, we can take it as you have been in these meetings. So you are aware of a lot of these transactions of cabinet.
From which folio?
From 164.
Sorry, if you tell me folio and sorry, lead counsel, the minute that I'm aware is 175. I don't. You referring to folio or the minute again? Sorry.
The folio
160
on the minute sheet, right? So from 164, perhaps we can do from 167. From 167, can we take it as established that you were in these meetings as Secretary to Cabinet? So, Honorable Chair, perhaps having seen that Fofana and Sise Kunda have threatened me, I would ask that we go for a short lunch break and come back at the chair's discretion, actually. I would advise we come back at 4.
At 4.
Latest.
That's well, that's okay. We can have one break pairs and then come back at 4.
However, before we do, I would like an answer. There's a pending question. If we could get a definitive answer from the witness, and then at that point we can break off. Mr. Jai, there is not we don't need to think about it for too much. Look at, if you have your statement, it is your own statement that says that you were appointed as Secretary to Cabinet on the 24th of January 2023.
Yes.
So from that point, you were Secretary to Cabinet.
Yes.
Now, 167 is dated the 27th of March.
Yes.
You were well in.
Yes, but I think if you look at it properly, it is from the Ministry of Justice inviting other stakeholders.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and then copied, including the Chief of Staff. I was not part of it.
So you are not part of
No, I was not part of this.
Okay, we will take it up after the break.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so we will have break and we'll come back at 4. Meeting adjourned till 4 p.m. Thank you.